What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But in this case, the Lightning are taking on the Golden Knights in Tampa. We'll preview that game and talk about some other hot players on the Tampa Bay Lightning on today's episode of Locked On Lightning.
You're Locked On Lightning, your daily podcast on the Tampa Bay Lightning, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Lightning. Josh Sperber here, wanting to thank all of you for making Locked On Lightning your first listen today. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And if the Tampa Bay Lightning are your team, then this is the show for you. Tampa Bay is coming off of two 4-1 victories to start off the season, including kicking off a 2-game homestand with their home opener, a 4-1 win over the Vancouver Canucks. Now, the Lightning get one of their first big tests of the season against a true championship contender. The Vegas Golden Knights, according to our friends at FanDuel, have had 16-1 odds to win the Stanley Cup this year, and tied with the Toronto Maple Leafs. That is the highest cup odds of any team that the Tampa Bay Lightning will play in the opening month of the NHL season. And the Lightning are coming off two huge games, so you really don't feel like they need to change all that much. But I think something that the Lightning really could use is some help on the power play. It's been two very different 4-1 games, two empty netters, two power play goals in the win over Carolina, and all but Brandon Hagel's empty netter were scored in an even 5-on-5 matchup between the Lightning and the Canucks in Tuesday's win. So the power play is something that John Cooper and the Lightning staff have really been pushing as something that the Lightning really want to do well. It was something that the Lightning had some really good looks, but we talked on yesterday's show about how Seelov's just made some incredible saves for the Canucks. The majority of those great saves came on the Lightning power play. So it wasn't a bad power play, even while going 0 for 4 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They had good looks, just sometimes the netminder is going to be the guy who gets the win on those good looks. That's just what happens in NHL hockey. It certainly isn't the first game it's happened to the Lightning, and it certainly won't be the last game that it happens to the Lightning. So I think the Lightning just need to focus on the power play and really take advantage of any mistakes that the Golden Knights make. And getting themselves a power play goal at home would be massive. So the power play is going to be a big focus for the Lightning. Andrei Vasilevskiy just needs to be in goal. He's been outstanding so far this year, and he's now 5 wins away from 300. I believe he'd be the fastest goalie to 300 wins in NHL history. And it's just been remarkable to see his career be so dominant from the get-go with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, as long as Vasilevskiy's in the net, you got to think the Lightning have a better chance. He's just so talented and legitimately one of the best goalies in the NHL. And I think that he is going to be on Vezina watch this season. Absolutely. There's no question that Vasilevskiy can potentially win another Vezina trophy. The forward lines really have to be in sync, particularly the top two lines, which is where I think the Lightning are going to get a lot of their success this season. Brandon Hagel has started off the season really strong, empty net goal and an assist in the Canucks victory. And, it really kind of seems like he's the leader. He's, just the gasoline in the engine that is the Lightning's second forward line. So I think Brandon Hagel can, continue to just do a really good job of just setting the example of what you need coming off of the bench. He plays hard. He's a really strong skater, great stick handling skills. and just, a guy who creates chances coming off of that left side. So I think that Another big game from Brandon Hagel. He was a guy that I talked about way earlier in the season, wanting to see a nice breakout season from. And I think that is really starting. The Lightning offense has been absolutely clicking. And we're going to talk about how the defense has helped that a little later on in the show. It's still just important to note how strong the Lightning offense has been. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that can say they scored 8 goals in the NHL in 2 games. 4 goals in back-to-back games is massive. And yes, 3 of those 8 goals were empty netters, but they're still goals. They're still Lightning players taking advantage of opportunities that are afforded to them in victories. And yeah, it's easier to get an empty net goal, but that doesn't make it any less valuable to a game. And, hopefully the Lightning will get a chance to get some empty net goals at the end of this game as well. But obviously that's not really something you want to count on. You want to just beat them however you can. If it ends up with an empty netter to seal the win, fine. But those empty net goals aren't going to be the decisive goals in the game. So, the Lightning offense just I'm trying to think of, things to say that they can do to win games, but it's really just keep up the good work. The Lightning's passing has been so crisp. I know that was something I mentioned a lot yesterday, and they really move the puck along well. The team chemistry already seems like it's at the kind of level that you want it to get to. So, as long as the offense continues to click, continues to gel really well, I think the Lightning are going to give themselves a good chance to win. I mean, this is the toughest opponent that the Lightning have played so far this season. And this is certainly a really big test. I mean, you look at Tampa's schedule, and the games, at least in this month, that I have circled were this game, the openers, for just the sole reason that they're starting the season. And, I'm excited about hockey season. But, in all jokes aside, the Golden Knights game, Monday's road tilt against the Maple Leafs, and, of course, the return of Steven Stamkos the week after on August 28th. Those are the 3 biggest tests, I think, for the Lightning in a lot of ways. Very different ways. But, I mean, those are games that I think are really going to set the tone for the Tampa Bay Lightning season. And that's something else that Tampa needs to do in this one, is set the tone early. One of the most impressive things about the Lightning's win over Vancouver was how they started. How right out the gate, they were almost 1 goal up 1 minute into the game. And then, 2-3 minutes after that, Nikita Kucherov makes a great defensive play, and then, starts some great puck movement on offense, ends up with the goal. Lightning take the lead that they do not surrender. It was 3-0 Tampa by the time Vancouver got a power play goal that Jeff Cooper called frustrating, or John Cooper, called frustrating, because the Lightning were playing so well on the penalty kill. And that is another thing that I think the Lightning need to do well. The power play, the penalty kill, those need to be excellent. Victor Hedman was talking about that there's still kind of some growing that needs to be done for this team in terms of special teams. And, that's got to start on the extra man opportunity. That's got to start in the penalty kill. And I think the Lightning certainly have the players for that. We'll talk about Darren Radish a little bit later, but he is someone that I really think adds a lot to the Lightning offense. But, putting him on the power play line gives a nice offensive-minded defender to kind of help out there. And, on the penalty kill or not, I mean, the Lightning defense has been excellent. But you don't like to see power play goals go in. You want to see a clean penalty, but on the back of that power play goal was, a really kind of confusing, chaotic 4-on-3 that was turning into a 5-on-4 during the time that goal was scored. So I think just, couple little things to tighten up on the penalty kill. And then, you just hope that some of those power play shots went in. Jake Gensel had a really nice look, had a nice one-time feed to Darren Radish, who had a couple of chances on power plays, but Seelov's just made the saves. And, hopefully the Lightning can just get more of those pucks past Vegas, because they really could have had 2 or 3 extra goals at minimum in Tuesday's win. So hopefully those kind of shots, those chances will keep coming, but this time they'll go in for the Lightning. And that is something that we're going to look for. And the Lightning offense, obviously key to their success so far this season. Nikita Kucherov has continued to be a leader on the offensive side of the puck for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And he has had a really solid start to the season so far. How far can he go? How far can he push his ceiling following up, an incredible offensive season with 100 assists last year? We'll break that down next. If you are looking to bet on sports, FanDuel is absolutely the place for you to go. And you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. When you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the exact same page where you place your bet. So get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That is 40 times the amount that you bet. So, you get a great deal. You get maybe some extra money on FanDuel. That is FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook. Over-under set at 6.5, with the Lightning with a negative 1.5 spread. And the Vegas Golden Knights are slightly favored according to the odds on FanDuel. But hopefully the Lightning can beat those odds. Josh Sperber back on Locked On Lightning, and let's talk about Nikita Kucherov. Obviously, he is, the straw that stirs the drink, the key cog in the Tampa Bay Lightning offense. One of the best players in the league this year, and my pick for the Hart Trophy as the NHL's MVP. He has certainly already started off on that good foot. He's got a goal of almost every kind in the first 2 games of the season. He scored or assisted on each of the Lightning's first 5 goals, including a power play goal. Does have 2 empty netters, but 4 goals and an assist in 2 games is great. And, we knew that the Lightning might be leaning on him a little bit more to score this season with Steven Stamkos now out of the picture. And that Kucherov can handle it. Anything offensively, there's really nothing on offense that Nikita Kucherov can't do. He is proven in so many ways how strong he is on the offensive side of the puck. Really turned into a power play captain, and, just has been a massive leader for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, with a player like that, he is a kind of season-defining player. You look at guys like Connor McDavid, like Nathan McKinnon, like Austin Matthews. Jack Eichel, if we're talking about the Golden Knights. These are the kind of star players that, their team season in many ways can live and die with their offensive or defensive skills, power, stats. However you want to slice it. The Lightning, a big part of the Lightning's success is going to be dependent on their star player, Nikita Kucherov. Now, none of this is new information, but you just got to think about how far a guy can go. Yes, it's 2 games and he's scored 4 goals. And, over 2 games, that seems relatively insignificant, but it's not. a hat trick in the opening game of the season, not easy to do. Within the first 4 minutes of a very emotional home opener, you get gritty defense and a great goal to set the tone for the game. Now, is he necessarily going to score in the first 5 minutes in tonight's game? We won't know. But, I mean, something that I've been thinking about since, kind of looking over the stats and, looking at some of the numbers that Kucherov has been able to put up. And it's just, it just has gotten me thinking about how high he can go. 44 goals, 100 assists last season for Nikita Kucherov. And, of course, the Art Ross Trophy awarded to the Russian international. But, it's hard to follow up a season like that. It really is. And, Kucherov set career highs in both goals and assists last year. And he played all but one game of the Lightning season, still finishing with a +8 margin. I mean, he was just so dominant on the offensive side of the ice. He led the league in power play points. Where will he finish this year? Now, at this point, through 2 games, he has averaged over 22 minutes of ice time, which is the most amount of ice time he has averaged over the course of a season. Now, I don't think I think he could lead the Lightning in goals this year. I believe my pick for that was Braden Point again, when we talked about that earlier in the season. But, I mean, again, 4 goals in 2 games. Point's been consistent to start the season so far, but Nikita Kucherov, I think he is, provided that he stays healthy, he's a lock for what would be his 4th 30-goal season, fourth 40-goal season. And, he's had over 80 assists in each of the past 2 years. Career high in assists. His 5th 100-point season, I think, will be coming. I really don't see a scenario, barring injury, where a healthy Nikita Kucherov combines for less than 100 points between goals and assists. There's still the same kind of goal-scoring power on that first line that, Kucherov can assist to. You have a pretty offensive-minded defenders that can really contribute well on the offensive side of the puck that helps out Nikita Kucherov. So you just have a lot of guys who can shoot, and his assist numbers can get inflated. Do I think he'll have 100 assists again this year? And I'm going to say yes. I think that he is going to do something that is not done very often and get 100 assists for the 2nd straight season, maybe even 1 or 2 more. I just think that the puck is just going to be on his stick so much more this year than it was last year. He's just going to have so much more control of the way the offense runs, including on the power play. And another bold prediction, I think he's going to get 50 goals. He's on a ridiculous goal-scoring pace right now that I'm not even going to mention because I'm not good at math. But also, I think just talking about a goal-scoring pace this early in the season is just kind of meaningless. But I think that I definitely expect another 100-point season from Nikita Kucherov. I think 50 goals is certainly within reach again. I think 100 assists is certainly within reach again. And we could see a 150-point season from Nikita Kucherov this year. And if he keeps up this rate, and if the Lightning keep, putting so much of the offense in his hands, on his stick, I think that, he has the talent to maybe even stretch it to a 200-point season. But I think this year you can absolutely book a 50-goal season for Nikita Kucherov, and he's going to have around 100 assists. I don't think he'll have less than 80. I don't think he'll have more than 110. But I really think, especially the way the season is starting for the Lightning, I think Nikita Kucherov has put himself on the path to have a massive, unprecedented point scoring season. 50 goals, and I'm going to give him, I'm just say 100 assists again. 150 points for Nikita Kucherov in 2024 and 2025. Now, I mentioned that some of his defenders can certainly assist with points for Nikita Kucherov, with a whole lot of defenders getting on the attacking side of the puck in the Lightning's victory over Vancouver this past Tuesday. Let's talk about what that adds to the Tampa Bay Lightning team. I love going to live events, particularly live sports games. And there is no place that makes it easier to find tickets than Game Time. It has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only the best deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Now, my favorite part about Game Time is the fact that you can go on the app and get a pretty accurate view of your seat. So you know what you're getting before you go down and take a seat to enjoy the game. It just makes the experience so much easier, and it really helps you pick where you want to sit for any given live event. So you can get game tickets, you can get concert tickets, comedy, theater, anything on the Game Time app for a good deal and a really easy experience. You take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time, and if you download the Game Time app right now, make an account and use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off after you create an account and redeem that code LOCKEDONNHL. Terms do apply. But download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time. And Prize Picks is another spectacular betting site. And you can get up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. It's the best way to get action on sports in over 30 states, including the great state of Florida. The only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first period and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup live. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. So you get $50 for playing 10 times less. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is a guarantee. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. And you can share your picks by tagging @Prize Picks and encourage your friends to do the same. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNHL and get $50 instantly when you play $5 on Prize Picks. And we are back to the last segment of Locked On Lightning, talking about something that the Lightning have become quite familiar with: two-way defenders. Obviously, Victor Hedman, a shining example, one of the highest assist totals by any NHL defenseman since he entered the league 15 years ago. And now the Lightning captain, who is still looking for some more points this season and had 3 assists in his last game against the Vegas Golden Knights. He leads a batch of Lightning defenders that have really impressed me with their two-way ability. 3 assists in 2 games so far for Victor Hedman after recording 63 in 78 games last season, the second highest assist total of his illustrious career. And Hedman, though, is not the guy that prompted me to want to talk about these dual threat defenders. That was actually Darren Radish, who really impressed me in the game against the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, he was almost on the forward line sometimes. He's one of the faster skaters I've seen as a defenseman, and his, puck on stick skills are great. He's a really good passer and has a rocket of a shot for a defender, especially. And in Vancouver, it seemed like he was involved with every single offensive play. And, Emil Lilleberg had a preseason goal as well. He's someone that I'd like to see back in the lineup, as he and Cam Atkinson were scratched for the Lightning's home opener. Ryan McDonagh got an assist. And if you take a look at the scoring, there was a defender involved in almost every goal for Tampa. The third period goals were just the third forward line, the second forward line. Ryan McDonagh and Darren Radish got an assist on the game opening goal and what turned out to be the game winning goal, with Radish getting the primary assist on Kucherov's goal. Now, obviously, you look at the Lightning so far this season, and they have scored in each of the last 5 periods. The focus, you'd think would be on the offense, but I really see the defense for Tampa pushing up and getting back on defense quickly, but, just pushing up in the attack and really starting to become a part of the Lightning's offensive attack. And, the Lightning have a lot of elite offensive players, but the defense being able to add that much to Tampa's attack it just increases the potential for the offense exponentially. There are a lot of guys on defense where, yeah, they're up with the rest of the offense, but are they really a threat to do anything? That's not really the case. Like, I don't see a Lightning player on defense who I don't think is some kind of threat to help on the offensive side. Defenders have factored into almost every single goal so far for the Lightning this season. And, I mean, Hedman is one of the better passing defenders in the NHL. Darren Radish has really impressed me with his offensive skills. And it just makes the Lightning that much more difficult to guard. And these two-way defenders, I think, are one of the big reasons that the Lightning have been so successful on offense so far, because it just opens up the ice that much more with, the Lightning defenders being scoring threats and being smart passers. It just can unlock so much more on the offensive side for Tampa Bay. And I'd like to see more of Darren Radish, especially, get involved with the offense. I mean, I think it's one of the reasons that he was put on the first power play line. It's him and Hedman typically on the Lightning's first power play line because of Radish's ability to turn defense into offense and just his skills on the offensive side of the puck. I mean, he might be able to serve as a, low line forward. I really think he is that talented on the offensive side of the puck. So there's so many more threats than you'd initially expect for the Tampa Bay Lightning offense because of their defense and the skill that they have. And it's a pretty young defensive group. Other than McDonagh and Victor Hedman, the defenders are all 28 or under. They're all in their prime or younger. And, I think that the Lightning's defense adds so much more to their offense than you can say for a lot of other teams in the league. And I think it's something that the Lightning could certainly take advantage of against Vegas. And I think it's something that is really going to be a big factor in Tampa's success this season because, I'm not going to try and knock their defense. I'm not going to say that Andrei Vasilevsky's role has diminished in any way because, he is a top-tier goalie in the NHL. But the Tampa Bay Lightning, the way that they're built this year, they will go as far, I think, as their offense takes them. That is the definite strength of the Tampa Bay Lightning team. And the Lightning's two-way ability on defense just makes them that much more dangerous. And I think it can really open up their offense to a lot of different things that other teams might not have the ability to do. And it also just puts less pressure on the offensive side of the puck for the Lightning as well. So I love the way Radish has played so far. And, the rest of the defense, the younger guys especially, have already shown that they can mesh well with the guys. They communicate really well. They attack well on offense, and they get back quickly on defense. So, I think that this dual threat defense that the Lightning really have, and the ability to turn defense into offense in an instant, is going to be so key to the Tampa Bay Lightning season. And that season will continue later tonight. You can check out the Locked On Lightning Twitter page for some updates during the game. And I'll have some updates on my Twitter page as well at Josh_Sperber. We're at LO_Lightning on X for the podcast. But that is going to do it for the show. You guys can catch my content on our X account during the game. But for now, I want to thank all of you for making Locked On Lightning your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Become a fantasy expert and get the edge over your league mates with daily tips from Steal and Flip. Find Locked On Fantasy Hockey on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like, a follow, a subscription. We really appreciate your support, and hope to keep giving you some fun Lightning news over the course of the season. I'm ready for the game tonight. Hope you guys are, but go Bolts. Have a great night.